Alright, today's topic is my 5 favorite Zelda games. Now, alright, but before I go on this, I have not played Breath of the Wild, so don't tell me how great Breath of the Wild is when I haven't played it yet. Obviously, it's not one of my favorite games if I have not played it. So, with that in mind, here's my 5 favorite Zelda games of all time. First, I got A Link to the Past. Now, man, it's still one of my favorite games ever. Like, just not Zelda, but any game. It was so long, and just the story was there, and the items, and just the exploration. I mean, if you took your time and explored, you never got bored either, which was weird, and the puzzles were a fine balance, where it's never anything too difficult, but you felt really satisfied, and you got your item once you found out the puzzle, or figured out the puzzle, and man, this game. It took the original Zelda and stepped it up a notch quite a bit, and this might even be my favorite Zelda still to this day. You know, I haven't played Breath of the Wild, so don't tell me that's better. Although, okay, well, I'm going to continue with the list. I don't want to spoil none. The second one was A Link Between Two Worlds for the 3DS. That was a great deal of fun too, and probably since Ocarina of Time, that one was the real good one. I mean, it took them a while to get back to that formula. The Wii ones I wasn't a huge fan of. They kind of held your hand a lot, and the game was really grindy feeling. It's just really slow. But Link Between Two Worlds was so much fun. And they introduced a ton of new items, which are all great to figure out how to use, how to especially abuse. Certain bosses just couldn't take an item. And then you got to do the castles in different orders, just depending on what items you were good with and how you could use them to get into different places. And then again, the exploration was there, and it was fun how it was tied to A Link to the Past, and everything they did with that game was great. And then if you were good at the game, patient, you got to buy your items, or if you tried to rush it, you could get screwed over and only ramp, but then lose it if you died. I mean, they took that, the whole concept was adventure and deciding your own adventure, and this one did it with more than just walking around, which really made it special. I thought that was great. For the third one, I got Ocarina of Time. I never got to play the N64 version. I did play the 3DS one. So even then, the water temple was rough, but from what I understand on the N64, that's where it truly was a challenge. And I can't honestly attest to that, and at least I'm honest. But that game, man, is like 22 hours of just bliss. Just running around, figuring out all the obstacles, time travel back and forth, and then unique items again. And then they're really good at adding new items to new games. And the story was fun. It's just all of it. The boss scenes were fun, and every minute of that game, it's like the 22 hours went by, and I was like, I was sad. I was like, he's like, are you sure that's the real Ganon? Maybe I gotta fight more, find another Ganon. But, no, that was the end of the game. So, oh well. But it's still a ton of fun to play, especially in the 3D. It was cool. The water and the forest and whatnot made it a lot of fun. Fourth one I got is Link's Awakening. Now, back in the day, I was absolutely amazed that they put this much game onto a Game Boy. Like, I don't know how they did that. And then it came out DX on the Game Boy Colors, and I had both, but obviously I like the DX one. They added a little dungeon in there, which gave you a suit, which you could either do more damage or take more damage. And man, that game, I still to this day occasionally go back and play that game. So fun. And again, how they stuffed all that into a Game Boy game, I have no idea. And then they added the Rock's Feathers so you could jump, and the new abilities. It was great. And the puzzles were fun. The whole entire game's worth of mission where you had to trade an item for another item all the way to the end. And it's like, oh crap, who wanted the toy thing? And like, oh man, it was just, the whole game was just great. And then the bosses were fun. The puzzles, again, they did a great job. And then the only one I didn't like was taking that stupid ball around. I think it was Castle 6. And then throwing them up against the pillar so you could change the stories on it. And then that was a pain in the ass. To me, that was my water temple as a kid. was that damn castle. But you know, it is what it is. It was a lot of fun, and I enjoyed that one. That was, and then a Game Boy. It's truly impressive. For my last one, gotta go with the original. That original Zelda game set the stage for generations of games after it, and it truly was a marvel for the NES. Like, that game is actually really deep, and then true exploration. Like, I didn't play it as a kid, so when I did play it, you know, the internet and going through other Zelda games where you get cracks in the walls and you know what it means and things like that, and to understand that items are generally used against the boss here where you get it. So little hints like that, and it helped me play the original one quite a bit. But I can only imagine going back on the first Zelda and trying to figure some of this stuff out. It's got to be brutal. Especially some of these bomb sites were nuts. Like, they didn't show it as easily as they do now. It was truly hidden. It's like, oh, light up this random bush, and then so I feel like, and that was one of the castles too. It was required. But jeez. But and that one again, you could do the castles out of order. Strongly not recommended unless you're a pro, because some of those castles are hard as hell and you can get to them early. Like, I think I accidentally walked into castle 4 or 5 one time. I was supposed to do 2 and just got annihilated by those rabbit things. They did a lot of damage. It was rude. But either way, a ton of fun to explore, and yeah, it's just a great game. I mean, one of the best for the NES for sure. And so that are my 5 favorite Zelda titles of all time. That's it.